For everybody jumping on, welcome back. It's a Monday. Thank you for joining us. We've got Jeff from Osirs, but check out the spelling because I always spell it wrong. Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about Osirs and then we'll get into it?
Yeah, man. So I started Osirs with a couple of partners here about a year and a half ago. I run a real estate team here in South Denver, and somebody had said, man, the systems that you've built for it, you should be doing for other people just because it's just, they've been good. And we noticed a big hole in the industry that we're trying to plug. And it's a lot of work in these, intermediate tech gaps.
Yep.
But man, once we start plugging some stuff, it'll make people money for sure. So I started that, and now it's just been taken off full time. And it's my passion is kind of solving tech problems and helping people there. So
I love that, man. Well, thanks for jumping on board. And you're working closely with Bryan Curtis now, or tell me about that.
Yeah, so we've just partnered, kind of quasi with partner with Bryan, because he comes from that team coaching experience that's so brilliant. I mean, he's helped me with my real estate career, tremendously. And he's helped a lot of people. He's an abundance mentality guy. And I think we can collaborate on a lot of good projects. And this is actually one thing I want to share with you guys today is what we've been collaborating on. And hopefully it'll help, people create some simple ways to automate and monitor their leads. But yeah, Bryan's been awesome in brainstorming with and working with, and it's just been a phenomenal working relationship there.
I like that, man. Well, great job on bringing him on board. He always has so much to offer. So let's get into Zapier, because every time I bring you on, you zap something and then people love it, but then you also lose a few people, right? So I'm going to preface this with saying you can hire Jeff if you lose him at any point, right? So you can hire him to help you with all of this. You don't have to do it on your own. So what he is going to show you, though, are just possibilities of how to use Zapier and Follow-Up Boss together so that you can make everything work better. And it does work better this way. So Jeff, I'm going to just lead it up to you. What do you want to show? What do you want to show us today, man?
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about, this is something that we're rolling out for all of our system clients right now in this update. And what we thought would be helpful is showing how to create 2 simple Zaps that will basically give you a report every day on that day's leads, right? So that you can see who's been contacted, how fast they've been contacted, what's the percentage of premium leads to your seller leads, who's been your top agent for that day. It kind of is going to give you that framework, and they're really simple. And so I wanted to help people show them there's 2 API calls with Follow-Up Boss, but they are really simple. And I wanted to help people just kind of start to navigate that, because once you do, it opens up this world of like what's possible. And you'll make money in these gaps for sure. Because if you can plug one of these holes that you find, you don't even know it's a hole to begin with. And if you plug it, then all of a sudden now you got 2 or 3 under contract you didn't even think you would have before. So I'm going to show you these 2 Zaps. Okay, one is you get every lead that comes into Follow-Up Boss. Okay, and then you're going to check it after a period of time, what I call the first interval. Okay, so you can choose 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I've chosen 10 minutes for this example. And so what we do is a new lead comes in, we delay it for 10 minutes, we recheck the lead, and then see, okay, how many calls, how many texts, any conversations, any of that stuff. And then this is the beautiful part is we plug it into a Google Sheet automatically. I'll show you that too. And we're going to send you a text message once a day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon that says, here's how today's leads went. Okay. So I'm going to share that. It's pretty awesome. Okay. So the first step is I've got all of our stuff pulled up here. Okay. This is our Google Sheet we're going to be using. And I have linked everything. So after this is over, I'm going to paste all these links along with, I put together a video so that you guys can create this on your own. You can edit and modify it as much as you need. Okay, but this is the template for the Google Sheet. Okay, is we're plugging in new leads, okay, with the first interval stage, their source, the agent that got it, their text quantity, calls, contacted, etc. And we're going to, with some simple Excel formulas, which you've already done for you, you're going to have access to this Google Sheet, so that all the formulas as well. It's going to tell you these stats, percentage of those new leads that were contacted, texted, called, etc. Okay.
I like that.
Yep. And then it starts here. So this is the first Zap. Is first of all, we got to have all leads coming into Follow Up Boss like tracked, right? So the first thing we do is, and again, these two Zaps I'm sharing out in the community as well. Okay, so that way you can take these and modify them. And if you have questions on how to modify them, I've kind of put some titles in each of these steps, so that helps you kind of get to that phase. Okay.
Okay.
So we check all leads. Okay, so this is new contact in Follow Up Boss. Okay, so this means every new contact that hits your Follow Up Boss, every one of them. Okay, and you choose, get your account in there, you need your API key, okay, and find the most recent contact to test with.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one, this is a Realtor.com lead. This is from my real estate team. Okay, I'm using this one. And then the second step, I recommend everybody learning on how to use this. This is a filter with Zapier, okay, because the way Zapier bills you is they don't bill you for this trigger, but they bill you for any task afterwards. Okay, so if you can filter right away, you're minimizing your bills if that's something that's important to you.
I like that. Jeff, I'm going to interrupt just for a quick second, only because it has to do with this. How do people access these if they wanted to access this?
In what way? In like these exact Zaps?
Yeah, do they sign up for something specifically with you, or tell me about that?
I'm going to paste this entire post in the community. You don't need to sign up for anything. I'm not asking you guys to do anything. I'm just trying to provide value, you know, and help people get over the hump, because there's such a bigger world out there than just this, that we'll find clients, you know, one way or the other. I'm not worried about that.
I love that. Thank you for doing that, man. I appreciate that. And by the way, everyone listening in, that's in the Follow Up Boss community, which we'll post a link to, which Jeff is a moderator to as well.
Yep. So going back to the filter, I want to make sure you guys filter for any of the sources that you want to make sure you're checking. Okay. So if you don't want to filter for database, you don't want to check database leads right away, you don't want to check farming leads or anything like that, just do a filter for any of those sources. So what you're going to do is you're going to filter and then select which field, in this case source, and I just said does not contain plus leads, right? And does not contain the word database, right? So I'm going to go find source, does not contain database. And you can keep doing that to make sure that you're only letting through this flow. This is a flow, right? So a new lead comes in, this is flowing through this. That only certain leads that you'd want come through. Okay.
Got it.
And then do your delay. Okay, so you can change this as much as you need. I want to check 10 minutes. Pretty reasonable. Some people say 5, doesn't matter. Right, check 10 minutes. This is the API call that you're going to do on Follow Up Boss. Okay, it's called a Webhook step by Zapier. Okay, and you're going to do a custom request. Okay, and without getting into the nitty and gritty, I'm going to show you why. Okay, is click continue.
Okay,
You're doing a get. And a get means I want to check something. I want to see what that's all about. I don't need to update something. I don't need to create something. I need to receive something. Okay. So I'm going to do a get, and then here is your link. Right. The important piece that's on here is this: fields, all fields. Okay. Because what we want to get is the calls, the text, the conversations, all the data that, I mean, Follow Up Boss's API is brilliant, by the way. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without a brilliant API. And they have this fields, all fields, right? So you're going to use that URL, okay? And then this is under, when you scroll down to basic authorization, this right here is your API key. Okay. So, and now with Follow Up Boss, we got to get our API keys from here, create new, right? Grab this API key, okay, paste it in there. And then I was talking to Bryan this morning. He's like, it took me about a day to figure out this stupid little bar.
Dude, I think you told me about that last time too.
Yeah. So yes, you need to put a bar at the end of it, no space. Okay. And then this is uber important. It will not work unless you lay content type application JSON. That is a API call. It's pretty simple, right? And when I click continue, and then I need to test, check out what is found. You're using this versus the Follow Up Boss Zapier app because it's giving you more information. Okay. Like, for instance, I have last outgoing call, last incoming call, emails sent. I have all this data that you don't normally get. I have all my custom fields, right? So if you have some specific custom fields that you want to get the data from, you got them all.
All right. All right. So I like that. And by the way, everyone, this is recorded. So if you're losing him at any point, this is recorded. It'll go on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. And I shot a video for it and have it posted there too.
Okay. Just in case.
Because I got you. Don't worry. Took me a while. I mean, you can learn how to, be a mechanic of a car by YouTube these days. And that's kind of how I learned, is just by YouTube. So now I recommend do a filter right afterwards. Okay. So do you want to filter only the leads that don't get contacted? Do you want to filter everything? Choose wisely. Okay. You can filter by stage, by agent. You can filter, so poke through here, okay, and create a filter. Then it's your sheet. Okay. So you're gonna go locate. You got to make sure that you get your account plugged in there, and you're going to create a spreadsheet row. Okay. And in this case, I use this test, and I'm just going to plug in that data. So I'm plugging in today's date, and all I am doing is I'm just retrieving it from the previous steps. Okay. So that's why, and one thing that some users have been confused about is I'm not seeing any phone calls or text messages on this step, on this first step.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this data off the very first step is dated. It's when they first came in. You need to pull the data from after your delay. Okay.
Got it.
So your lead tags are pulled from after the delay, right? And then all your different pieces. And you can get creative with whatever you want to put in here. Okay, so I've got my stage is pulled after. Everything else is pulled from afterwards. Calls. So my agent sent the text, but they didn't make a call. That's a problem.
Oh,
right?
Dude. Yeah, I love that.
Right. So now I can do a couple of things. I've got, once all that data is in there, you can click submit, and boom, there it all plugs into that sheet.
Jeff, Ryan, what's up, Ryan? He goes, if my eyes glossed over 30 seconds, can I pay you to do it all for me?
Of course. I mean, I'll help you guys out, but it's if you guys can tap into this just a little bit, you're going to plug a hole that you didn't even know existed. That's in real estate. We're so fortunate to have big margins. That's 20K. Is it worth, figuring this out for an hour? Is $20,000 worth that for you?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. And look, there's another question, and I'm going to interrupt you only because it applies to this. It's by James.
Sure.
It says, I'm currently using an ISA. They're really good, but a gap is that they don't enter any follow-up info into Follow-Up Boss. Is there a similar ISA company that will enter all the follow-up attempts into Follow-Up Boss? Or, Jeff, is there a process that an ISA can use that you create?
Yeah, it's a good question, because this is dependent upon the agent or the ISA in this case, using Follow-Up Boss and plugging in notes and plugging in calls and all that, right? That's what this is dependent. And somebody said it before, is like, if it's not in Follow-Up Boss, it doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, honestly, what I would do is hire you, and as you're going through and teaching, I'd have my VA sit in and learn everything.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we've thought about installing that as a future value add of teaching, a team member how to do some of this stuff so they can see these gaps and plug them with your own solutions.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Hogan said he scheduled a chat with you. So
Cool.
sounds good to me.
Yep. So as I keep going here, I'm going to go a little bit quicker, but you can choose. I have a path here. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty too much here, but let's say you want to control what happens if there's no calls or text on one of those leads, right? So you're going to say is if outgoing calls is less than 0.
Okay.
Or less than 1, sorry. Right? Then, oh, okay, now I have the option. Do I want to reassign it to a new lead group in Follow-Up Boss? Because, hey, agent, you didn't do your job. I'm going to reassign it to somebody else. Right? And 2, I can create a note. You don't have to do either one of these. You don't have to do this whole thing at all. But I recommend this is accountability. This is automated accountability. You're not the bad guy coming down on your team. The system's going to move the lead if you just don't call it. Right?
That's true.
So this is, we can install any tag through the regular Follow-Up Boss app. Okay. And then this is, you got automations in FUB.
Okay. Yeah.
So here's my tag, and then I'm reassigning it to a different lead group. Right. So this is brilliant. And I think this is underutilized at the moment of reassigning to a lead group. Right.
Dude, I love that.
So you can reassign to a different lead group and say backup, priority 2, whatever. Right. And that's the accountability. And then I add a note, just add a note that says, hey, this lead did not have an initial call or initial contact.
Yeah, and if you have an ISA, like who was that who mentioned it? James. If you've got an ISA at this point, you've got this in play, you know that they're going to be calling now as soon as they're dumped into the pond.
Yeah, because then the backup could be something else, right? So that is the end of that Zap, right? And that can be shared out and you can edit it as much or as little as you need. Okay, now the second piece of this is daily sending you a text, an email, or a Slack notification with the report. Okay, so now you've got once you turn that on, you've got all your leads for today piling up, right? And then here are your totals, okay, with percentage of leads that are contacted, percentage of leads texted, and this is just today's.
That's
right?
Super awesome, man.
Yeah, check this out. So if I select the fields, right click, I can get a link to this range, just to this range, right?
Okay.
And so now you start the trigger with a schedule. It's called a schedule. And I'm going to trigger this every day at 4 p.m. Okay. And it's simple. Send an outbound email to me with a link.
Oh,
right?
easy.
Here's today's report.
This is how good we're doing, or this is how badly we're doing.
And you're looking at it, and you can do it as an SMS. In fact, I did that earlier, and it worked great. Let's see if I can pull it up. This is kind of what it showed up, right? Here's today's lead report, self-destruct tonight at midnight. And it's just a link, right? And boom, goes right to your section with your data. And you can do that on a mobile device.
Dude, I love that. That looks awesome.
Right. So, and if you use Slack, you can put that in there too. So I put in all three, and you can choose which one you want or not. Okay.
Dude, I mean, I would send that to my lead ISA as well.
Yeah, it's just a good like daily check-in, right? And now there's an advanced piece of this that I've put a video together, and it's how do you get rid of the data in here now every day? Right? Because it's just going to keep piling up. So without getting in, the video I'm going to post is my Loom video, shows you how to do this. It's something called a script editor. Okay. And this is a powerful tool. Okay. So it's within Google Sheets, and you're going to go to Tools, Script Editor. Okay. And this is the formula right there. Okay. And all this is telling it, don't even know why it works or how it works. Just copy and paste. I learned this from YouTube. Okay. Is clear the range on this Google Sheet, on this worksheet, clear this range.
Okay.
Okay. Once you've plugged that in there, just click save. Okay. You're going to get all this stuff, so don't worry about figuring it out now. Go to triggers, and we have a simple little trigger here. All right, that says time. So now I can choose daily between midnight and 1. I'm going to remove and run that script every day between midnight and 1. So this will happen automatically, and just keep running.
Dude, I love this. And for those people that are wondering, well, I got lost like minute 5. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because Jeff's for hire. So
yeah,
you're good.
Well, yeah, well, that's the beautiful part about like YouTube and videos is it doesn't go away. Like you can always go back to it and keep learning. Just pause it.
But dude, look, the time I learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. So
right.
I would rather just hire somebody and have me focus on prospecting and getting more business and building relationships. I want a company like yours to come in and just plug it in for me. That's the key, right? So look, if you're really looking into this and you're in a position to be able to do this, jump in with Jeff. If not, watch the YouTube video. It is recorded, and he's doing it for free for you. He's giving you this outline. So Lee gets it. Okay, I'm saying I'm torn between excited and overwhelmed. What a great place to be in. I love that. That was really good. And guys, I'm going to throw in one more thing here. We're doing a little event on VAs. So if you're jumping in with Jeff or anybody at this point, and you need to learn how to leverage, jump on that event. It's a free one. It's on Wednesday. But Jeff, can you do me a favor and put in a link in here where people would be able to find you or message you or just hire you or find out more about you and your company?
Yeah, you just go to Osirs, osirs.co. Okay. And that's our basic, single page website kind of deal. You can also email me, Jeff@Osirs. You could Facebook message me. I have a VA monitoring that. And so there's a schedule link on here too. Just schedule it. That's the best way is I just run by my calendar. You just get yourself on the calendar. And that's the most effective way. But I'm happy to show you. I want to make it a win for you for sure. But this is hopefully a simple way to just get you to see these numbers daily, because I didn't know about some of my team's numbers every day.
Yeah.
Right. So it might be helpful.
Yeah, that's very true. And Jeff, you're going to post the links into the Facebook community later?
Yeah. So you're going to be able to download and copy this template. Okay. With all those formulas in here, you can edit as much as you want. You're going to get both those Zaps, and then you're going to get the video of how to create this little script editor with that.
I love it. I love it, man. Every time you come on, I'm very impressed. So thank you for doing that. And I know, Jeff, I know you dumbed it down too, which is good because you don't want to go over everybody's head.
Right.
So we're looking forward to learning more with you on Zapier. And I know now that you have Bryan as well, I think
Yeah.
that'll help a lot more too on I'm bringing in more on the real estate side as well, like
Sure.
systems and processes. So, dude, I'd love to have both of you on the next time we do this together.
Yeah. That'd be a blast, man. I mean, I love it.
I
Absolutely
think
love it.
we might need an hour for that one. So
Well, that's the challenge, right? Is like getting all this stuff within 25 minutes is, for me, was the biggest challenge. And I
yeah,
think we hit it. I think we did it.
I think we did, man. That was great. So I
Yeah.
think the next time we do one with Osiris, right, your company,
Mhm.
let's I think maybe let's shoot for like 45 minutes to an hour and see how that goes.
Sure, no sweat. And if there's anything else that you guys see holes and gaps with, if you're looking for some solutions, just start plugging them in the Facebook group and maybe tag me, and I'm happy to copy them down and put them on the queue of stuff to try to develop. But these are the kind of holes that we're trying to solve, for everybody. So
Very true, buddy. Very true. Well, thanks for being on. Thanks for being awesome and sharing that with us. And we appreciate you, man.
yeah, you too. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Bye, guys.